Jace, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Trying to get this set up. There we go.
You're coming through loud and clear, so we should be.
Perfect.
Okay, so first off, where are you at right now? What's set up?
I'm in the family room, just had to get some stuff to keep my phone up, so wasn't hold the whole time. But yeah, no one else is at my house right now, so nothing eventful.
There you go. There you go. Well, I kind of introduced what this segment is before you joined, but I'll quickly run through it again. This is face to face. It's an interview series presented by SB Live Washington. For anyone who doesn't know or is just tuning in, we're a statewide media outlet that covers high school sports across the state of Washington, across all classifications. And so this is a part of our high school coverage during this shutdown that we're hoping to continue on a week-to-week basis, is just interviewing a standout athlete across the state. So we appreciate you joining us today. For anyone who doesn't know who you are, you're Jace Phelan. Freeman, standout, multiple sports, but most notably baseball, where you were the state player of the year by the Coaches Association as a junior. So I'm just going to run through a little bit of your bio so you don't have to do it.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
sport athlete, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't play basketball this year, but up until this year, I was.
So as a junior, when we first talked, I had to double check this with you because I didn't necessarily believe it, but you hit 698 as a junior, is that right?
Yeah, junior year was a good year for me.
Uh, and you guys, obviously, that was coming off of a really special sophomore year where you guys made a run to win the 1A state title. I saw Coach Chad Ripke tune in right at the jump, so hopefully he's tuned in. I'm sure excited to hear what you have to say. So. Um, let's see. The way this works is that anyone tuning in, feel free to submit questions, and we'll be sure to get those answered. You can ask pretty much anything you want. We've already got some submitted before the interview started, so excited to get to those. But just starting from the outset, so you come from an athletic family. Your dad played sports. He's a high school coach. Your two older siblings as well, I believe both played in college. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you're the youngest, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up the youngest in a really athletic family.
It was actually really cool because I got to try to keep up with them. And with my brother being the same sports that I played, he was always kind of a mentor to me. And so it was super nice having him be able to lead me in the right tracks. And then my dad, he coached my brother his whole life. And so with him and my brother, my dad being able to coach me and just help me along the way was always something really special. And then having my sister keep in the side where it's like, okay, it can be all right. You don't have to be so serious all the time. And kind of being the girl of the family was super nice being with having that combo of both.
So your dad, I believe, is still a teacher at East Valley. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Or he was a coach, and where your two older siblings went. This is East Valley and Spokane. But you went to Freeman.
Yeah.
What decision-making process to go there, to go to a 1A school? Why did you decide to go to Freeman?
So my dad was coaching basketball, baseball, and football for my brother when he was there. And then my sister went because she'd be able to be in high school with my brother. But if I were to go to East Valley, it was kind of towards the end of my dad's coaching career, and my sister would have just been heading off to college. And so I decided to stay with all my friends and just keep the bonds I've had forever because I'd gone to Freeman forever and staying out there with my mom since she's the elementary principal. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you came in as a freshman, you contributed like right away. I know on the baseball field. Was it similar in other sports? And what was it like? What was it like as a freshman coming into a varsity baseball setting and being able to show your stuff right away?
It was super cool. And with the other sports, I wasn't as impactful, but I was on the varsity squad for football and basketball, but didn't do much. But for baseball, I started the first tournament when we went over to Seattle, and definitely nerve-wracking. And luckily, I got to room with a senior, and so he kind of helped me calm, and he put me in my place and kept me so I was known that I was a freshman, but still confident in being able to do my job. So it was good.
Yeah, was the what were the relationships like with that senior class? I mean, as a freshman, that's a significant. It can be a significant kind of age gap there.
Yeah, I was super close with a lot of them, especially, yeah, McCabe Cottrell is who I roomed with, and I was super close with him, and I still talk to him. And all that class was super nice to us. And so it was a really good group of guys that we were with. And we were a really talented team. And so it made it super fun.
Yeah, so you're not only contributing just on the varsity stage, but you guys have been knocking on the door in the state tournament for a few years before you got there, and really continued that your first couple of years. Um, your sophomore year is the year that I want to talk about, and I know that is for anyone tuning in. There's a forthcoming story on scorebooklive.com/Washington about your high school journey and how remarkable it's been in many different ways, and we'll get into a little bit and kind of preview it here in this interview. But you guys, Coach Ripke had said that going into sophomore year, out of that stretch of teams, out of the maybe the previous 4 years, it wasn't necessarily your most talented team, but there was a significant event, obviously a tragic event that happened at Freeman in the fall of 2017 with a school shooting that claimed the life of one of your classmates and injured several others. And sports really were kind of fused the community in a way, and you can elaborate on that a little bit more, but particularly with that baseball team. Before we get there, 2 days after the shooting, there was a football game. Now, school hadn't returned yet, but the community still went on with the football game. You guys were playing Medical Lake. It was September. It was really early in the year, and you were on varsity as a sophomore. Walk me through the scene that Friday night and just how different it was to any other game you've been a part of.
Yeah, it was super special. We were up in the locker room before the game, and we had a group prayer, and our whole team was a part of it, and everyone got together, and our seniors really were taking charge, which was super good for our group. And then once we got on the field, we saw how many people were there and how much it meant to our community, because our stands were full. People were standing just on the grass. Every spot was filled, and so it was a super cool place to be at that time. And then before the game, we went out and held hands around the flag while the national anthem played. And that's the most memorable thing for me, is both teams holding hands and just in remembrance of Sam. And it was something really special. And then once we started playing, it was crazy because you had so much adrenaline and everything was going right, and great place to be, so much fun, and really cool with the community behind us.
You guys won the game. You had all of Spokane on your side. Walking out onto that field when your position group went out, do you remember the feeling of looking up in the stands when you left the locker room and just seeing the swarms of people and that everyone that did show up?
Yeah, it was crazy because we went out, I think, an hour before game time, and there was already more fans than I had ever seen at a football game. And so I was like, oh, I'm really nervous, and I'm just a sophomore, not even doing that much. And it sent chills down my spine. It was so cool to see everyone there.
So fast forward a couple months, you guys bring back a pretty solid group for Freeman's baseball team. Did you know going into the year that you guys were capable of getting back to the stage that you had the year before and even going farther?
Yeah, we had all the confidence. We knew our guys, and with Desmond Parasato coming back in a big senior class, we knew that we would have a good opportunity to make it to at least the Final Four, and we were looking for the state championship. But we definitely knew that we would have to play really well for a long time, and we did, and it was super cool.
So that run, and I want to specifically zero in on that final game. Uh, you guys make it to the 1A state finals. It was a stage that I believe those previous 3 years you hadn't made it past the semis. Am I right there?
Yeah, that's right.
And so you guys make it to that stage finally, you break through, and you get to face a team that has a guy that went on to get picked to get drafted by the Mariners and is climbing the ranks in the Mariners organization now really fast, and Damon Cassetta Stubbs, and then a Wazoo commit Sam Lauderdale and a pitcher facing King's Way. And so you run into this juggernaut in the finals with these two great arms. What do you remember going into that game? Because things really clicked for you guys once the first pitch was thrown.
Yeah, our leadoff guy, I remember he got a base hit and then there was a walk and everything. So we were going right and everything was good. And I came up with the bases loaded and hit a ball probably full swing, but it went 8 feet maybe. And it scored a run and was a base knock. And that's kind of what got everything going. And so it was crazy being able to get that run going and being able to start everything off.
That wasn't the end of the action for you. Defensively, you came in with 1 out left in the seventh, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1 out in the seventh, 2 outs left, and you guys were up 6-2, and so you come in as a bug-eyed sophomore. I think they called you a young pup, and you're thrust into that position. Your dad was on the coaching staff. What was it like going into that game in that setting, knowing that you had to close things out and that you could be the one pitching the last out?
It was crazy because we had a senior that we threw exactly the same, except he had more experience because he had been playing a lot longer than me. And so I thought they were going to go with him. But when coach came over and told me to go warm up, I think my dad was the most shocked out of anyone because he was like, holy cow. But I went out there and yeah, I started warming up and I couldn't feel my arm, which was a scary but good feeling because I had so much adrenaline rushing through me. And then everything was going right for us. And so I didn't think he was going to bring me in. And then all of a sudden he calls me to the mound and I was like, oh goodness, this isn't good. But it was super cool being able to go up there and face the last batters and finish things out.
Your guys' starting pitcher, Michael Kumant, he hit the pitch count limit. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
it was, he's coming out, somebody else has to come in. And, right at the jump, I think you gave up a hit and a walk, like, right when you came in. And you're facing this situation and kind of with your back against the wall. How did you rally?
I eventually round out to the second baseman, which was a huge confidence booster for me because then I knew only I'd get one more out and was more calm, but still the kid that got drafted was up and the bases were loaded and he had been known that he has a pretty good stick and he swung it really well the games previous. And so I was quite nervous when he came up to the plate, but yeah, just started going and started trying to hammer the zone and got a 3-2 count on him. And then I always thought we are going to throw something, try to throw off speed because I was like, if I throw a fastball, he could hit it 400 feet and the game would be tied and then we'd be in a world of hurt. But our catcher called a fastball and I threw it a little up and he swung through and that was the best feeling probably of my life so far. So it was super fun.
So we've got the video of that. We're going to include that in the story when it runs, and it's really fun. I'm sure that's one that you've replayed, not only watched the video, but has been in your mind. Now, your mom was sitting in the stands. Like you said, Lisa Phelan, she's the principal at Freeman Elementary School, and she's sitting in the stands, and she made a comment is that when he swung through and you got that final out, you threw your glove up in the air. She said something along the lines of like, I didn't even know it was possible for him to throw his glove that high. And so, working with you, what was it like? I mean, you ran and dogpiled your catcher.
Yeah, after I threw my glove, it went on the video. You can see it just fly, and then yeah, going and tackling my catcher, which kind of hurt because we were both big football guys, but we hit and finally dropped, and everyone dogpiled on top of us, and it was so cool. And then watching coach come over, and he's trying to pull guys off, trying to get to me and talk to me. And it was just unbelievable. And then having my dad there after and being able to get out of that dog pile and go over and give him a hug and get everyone like in my family and talk to them. And it was something beyond special.
Everybody there in Yakima that day knew that it was about more than baseball for you guys. It was a moment that, as a community, I mean, you could see up in the stands the Freeman Strong shirts. It was really a big moment as a community to win that state championship. What did it mean with the backdrop of having having overcome that the tragedy back in September, and then here you are, you guys are at the top of your game and about to hoist the championship trophy.
Yeah, I thought that was something that our community really, it was really good for them because with how much had gone wrong that year and how hard the year had been, just everything kind of seemed down. And then for us to be able to bring something back and give us hope and give us happiness and just bring a positive vibe to the community was something really special that our community needed at the time. And so I think it was a huge step up by our team, and it really showed how together we were because we weren't the best team that we had ever had, but we were brothers. We were all best friends and just a great team to be around. And so it was great for our community to have us win that and just bring a positive vibe.
So the next year, your junior year, you have a great individual season. And, this spring season for your senior year, you guys were poised to have a good season as well. Obviously, school, because of the coronavirus, was shut down. You guys have been in e-learning the last couple months, like the rest of the state, and sports were canceled. So how have you, in that group, especially the senior class, you guys are really tight as a senior class, how have you guys come to terms with that? Because, despite the shutdown, despite this global pandemic that's going on, like, you guys really accomplished a lot in your 4 years. Were you able to appreciate that as a group?
Yeah, we definitely, I've talked to a lot of them, and we are thankful that we got to be a part of that sophomore state championship and then just be together last year and the year before because, yeah, we were in state all 3 years that we played, and so we were all super thankful. Even the guys that are not going to college for baseball are still super thankful and just happy that we got to end how we did, and being able to know that they showed out and were as good as they wanted to be. And so I think it was really good for our guys to be a part of that group, and so it was a good season.
What's the last couple months been like from your end? I know you're on ASB at Freeman, and so you were a part in putting together your guys' was it a drive-through prom?
Yeah.
And in 2 days now you have your drive-through graduation.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy as an ASB, which you wouldn't think that, but we try to do as much as we can and help people out and keep things as normal as possible with all of the community and all the students. And so we've been trying to put stuff together and try to have as much fun as we can with everything that's going on and not being able to see each other and support each other. But we're just trying our best to get things going. And yeah, graduation here in 2 days, we'll be able to all see each other again, which will be super good. And it'll be super fun, I think.
You've got a lot to look forward to in the future, headed off to Spokane Falls. Playing baseball, are you going to pitch?
I'm not sure. I don't think I will be, but there's always a possibility if my arm shows that it can grow and get better. But hopefully we'll be playing a lot of first base.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to about that experience and headed to the Falls?
I'm honestly just super excited with the coaching staff, and I'll know a lot of the guys there. And the coaches I've known for quite a long time, and I really get along with them. And so it'll be super fun being able to be with them and, yeah, hopefully perform as I did in high school, and obviously probably not as well, but hopefully up to a standard that will be good enough for myself.
So we're going to jump into a segment that we call Rapid Fire. It's pretty self-explanatory. I send you a rapid fire question. You give me a rapid fire answer. And then right at the end, anyone who wants to submit a question for Jace to answer, feel free to get that in while you can. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Favorite sports movie?
Ooh, Miracle.
Okay. Favorite activity that has nothing to do with sports?
Ooh, video games.
Okay. Best movie or TV show that you have watched / binged during the shutdown?
I watched The Office for like the 8th time, and it's just it's the top. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's ageless. Most creative way that you have worked out in the last?
Oh, I was at my grandma's cutting trees, and was lifting those and trying to get a workout with those, but not as good as you'd think.
It's no joke though. Cutting trees.
Yeah, it's tiring.
What's your go-to walk-up music?
Um, I would say I would go country and probably Cody Jinks's new song, "Watch the World Burn."
If you could switch lives with anybody for a day, who would it be?
Mike Trout.
Easy. Uh, Favorite pro sports franchise?
Uh, the Angels.
Okay, nice. So now we're going to get to our viewer questions. We got a couple. One that was submitted before. Okay. Brock Barrett asks Xbox or PlayStation?
Oh, PlayStation.
Okay. And then this one's from Logan Mercado, who tuned to a previous face-to-face, and he says, tell Jace I miss him and that he needs a better haircut.
Ooh, I don't know about all that, but
Negative energy that Logan's bringing.
yeah, come on. That's not okay.
Well, we can't end on that note. But before we wrap this up, what's, looking back across your high school career, particularly your high school sports career, what's one moment that you look back on and are really fond of? What's your favorite all-time sports moment?
I would say throwing that last pitch at state, just being there and right when that ball hit the glove, just knowing that all of our hard work paid off and being able to celebrate with the team. And even after on the bus, we were so rowdy and just having a great time and going back to the hotel room. I think we had every single guy in one room, which was overwhelming, but we were all so close and just such good friends that it was so much fun being able to be with each other for the last time because school was ending and I haven't seen a couple of those seniors since then. And so it was just really good time to be together. And yeah, just that was by far the best moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jace, you have a really powerful story just about your last 4 years and just everything not only that you've been a part of, but that the greater Freeman community has been a part of. And if you'd like to learn more, if you're tuned into this, I really recommend that you do. So forthcoming on the website, scorebooklive.com/Washington, we'll have an inside look at your story at the last few years for you. And included in that, which I think I might have to watch one more time after we get off, is you throwing that last pitch in that state championship game. So we'll archive this interview on our YouTube channel and on the site, scorebooklive.com/Washington. But Jace, I appreciate you joining today. Take care and best of luck with graduation on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right, take care, man.
Yeah, you too.